Introduce the group. I'm Michael Sandrowski. Behind me, the camera woman is Carlia Laszlo. Behind them two is Joshua Collier on the face, and Samuel Hannigan, which is right behind.
You should love me.
Right here.
I love you too, audience.
Basically, what we're doing is. What we're trying to do is present the preliminary and comparing it to our thriller opening, in which is compared to the quality, the imagery, the sound, continuity,
the mise-en-scène, stuff like that.
Yep. One comparison in which is presented within the thriller and our preliminary is the fact that of the tone it's being presented. In a thriller, it's more of a darker yet serious tone of dealing and all the various things, whereas the preliminary, on the other hand, wasn't even taken seriously. We just wanted to try and present something in a hilarious idea.
But we did sort of like we used angles and stuff, but
we used what was given to us, but the rest is just kind of like a parody video, so it's all a little silly.
We were testing out the technology to find where our skills and weaknesses were. Mainly,
I think we've definitely improved from.
Yeah, the audio's like.
We've definitely improved since the sound test and the cinematography, because obviously they were just little experiments. And this was our first film sequence, though.
The use of the sound between diegetic and non-diegetic. The main diegetic
I think
was
the sound was
dialogue.
pretty good. Yeah.
The non-diegetic was, of course, the opera music in the background, which just...
And what's the soundtrack?
Crazy La Paint.
Crazy La Paint.
Crazy La Paint.
In which...
As well as the classic tune.
I don't think you know.
And,
I'm gonna say the title of that one.
I mean, we put our finished bits first, and then afterwards we did outtakes. And
in which we shown all of our
bloopers.
blunders and mistakes conveyed within the sequence, in which begun a couple of seconds after the credits of the preliminary. This is where awkwardness begun and shown where the problems went, whether we forgot some of the things, and
I think shots were
a little bit
but they were a bit dull. Like they weren't
anything dynamic.
They were a bit shaky and it seemed a bit rushed, but I think we've improved a lot now that we've done that thriller.
I don't think we did. I think we just kind of filmed this. We didn't really look at the lighting, did we?
Well, no.
Well, the light projects on the door, which is where the
But I
heavenly
think
godly
in our
figure
thriller
was
opening we did, because
Isn't this
when it
just
all
like
got
the-
sort of suspense in thriller opening, we went into an alleyway where it was darker.
Yeah, we did greatly improve upon that.
Yeah, but in the preliminary, we didn't. See, that's the thing. We took everything that we did badly in the preliminary and tried to make it better in the actual work. For example, this moment is just brilliant.
Costumes and props, well, Sam had a coat on,
And then I took it off.
and then he took it off in
Also
a
had
very
a
sassy way.
lanyard on, which I also took off.
And my uniform was just standard, basic.
Dress code.
Yeah, it was just pretty much, and headphones.
And the headphones.
Hipster.
Yes.
It's not really a headphone.
Continuity.
There's no.
Well, I think that we've greatly improved, though, don't you think?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, also we've improved on our looking at the
And
camera
improved them.
since Mikkel does look at the camera at the end of one
Yeah.
scene.
Yeah, he does.
And then there's another one when I do, but that's intentional.
I accidentally looked
Breaking
at
the
the
fourth
camera,
wall.
which
When,
normally I improved upon, but in that part I just forgot about everything.
But I think you can see that we've done a lot worse in our bloopers and outtakes, but you know they're a lot better here. And,
Along with the way how it's being presented, the editing is rather basic. There's no special edit. It's just
no, there is. There's the fading bits where we fade.
fade in and out. Yeah. However, for me, the way how I'm seeing it is just average placing to make it move and advance further into the preliminary, and it does not show full
Okay.
Improvements. Well, we improved greatly upon the thriller opening by adding improved crossfading, making the edits more relevant so that it links to how we produced it, so that the action flows more smoothly. For this preliminary, it kind of was a little bit rough around the edges.
But we did the cross dissolve shots at the beginning when you were waiting to show time passing.
Yeah,
and we could also tell by your facial expression because you were like.
From early agitator, more irritated, it changes throughout the several seconds of time passing.
Both the fade and the increase in anger in the expression showed the immense amount of time that had passed during your waiting.
Throughout the outtakes, it showed that we kind of made blunders. Either I impersonated the Christian Bale's Batman, or just started screaming.
Yeah, but we had fun making it though.
It was a hilarious project to make. It was something that we took a little bit of pride upon.
But like, I think if we went straight to doing our thriller, then our thriller wouldn't be nearly as good. I'm not saying our thriller is brilliant. There's a lot of flaws, but
Yeah, there are several flaws with
you
it.
can
masterpiece
definitely
compared
tell
to
that we've
this.
improved.
It shows that there's
And
some
our thriller was our first serious, like,
Yeah.
serious work, whereas the remaining cinematography, sound test, and preliminary were just taken with less seriousness and just more comedic.
When I used a tripod in preliminary,
It was a little bit rocky.
It was rocky because it was like a bit wonky, and I didn't really focus on like how to straighten it out and make it
It was as if.
not wonky. And
So what happened then is that we greatly improved upon it
When we
throughout
did
the
the-
thriller opening. So essentially,
it was better.
yeah, essentially it became a little bit more smoother to work with, a little bit smoother to experience because we had even terrain.
What do you feel you the progression? Oh yeah, the progression, and then the logo.
So we can cut
Well, our group name is White Virgin Media, hence for the logo we depicted a very pale Caucasian girl, hence the white, wearing a white shirt, and she is also drinking coffee from a mug because the modern day stereotype for adolescent and teen white girls are that they drink a lot of coffee and go to Starbucks, hence the reference Starbucks written on the mug. There is also a giant, almost chastity belt-like padlock around her waist that covers her vaginal area, which represents the virgin side of things, as it represents her sexual purity. So, yeah.
Please tell me.
It was made, sketched out, then scanned it, put it into paint, and added gradients.
Doesn't stop talking at this point. Okay.
That's maybe
And then
So to advance things, the way how it started is we took
our shots were clearer.
yeah, a
when we
little
felt-
bit more clearer. We started off with a very strong
This
opening with the
brilliant
skyline.
A very, very short. We definitely looked up, you know, what we've done in class and what we've written and stuff in the way of shots and like close-ups, extreme close-ups.
In which
we
we
used
then-
a high angle and a low angle, I think.
You got to bear in mind that we did look at actual films.
I think we did use an eyeline match with the
Yeah.
with the cartridge.
We did, yeah. With the
We took the R-line
the
back.
item in inverted commas.
The mysterious device.
The
that no one
thing
knows
that was
about.
going to be
It's a
used as
3DS,
a MacGuffin.
between
Like, you don't need to say that.
We don't need to know that.
Yeah,
The
it's,
MacGuffin of the film.
The way how it essentially earlier started. Not to be confused with the McMuffin. The way how we started off the early shot was the way how the London skyline was panned. We slowed a little bit to improve a little bit on the high quality. Once that's done,
it was good when we used the music because the music sort of built up with the
it
shots.
built up the tension. It increased the emphasis on the.
That's not to say that we did it perfectly, guys, because we did have to go back and edit it because
we
I
did
mean, we always, for example, this shot here where he's like walking was far too long
Yeah,
to begin with.
Carly and Sam went through to a lower level to get me into gutter lane.
This is one of the better pieces of acting in the film.
Originally, when we filmed, we were instead
We
of
were
the
going to use-
mysterious instead of using the mysterious device, we were going to use like some sort of drugs that were
They
actually
weren't actually drugs.
Star Wars mints.
Stormtrooper mints.
Stormtrooper mints.
However, the
Sorry.
way how we then portrayed it was that
But
it felt a little bit too
then,
generic.
Yeah, and then we thought
Does it seem
that,
like a big-
well, the audience already know what it is,
You've got to
so
bear in mind that
who cares?
drugs
And then we
don't
thought,
really provide a bigger plot point for a
yeah.
film because
No one really cares
But
about
it's
that.
like the mysterious device.
I mean,
it's
but
it's
no,
gonna
right,
leave
the film
it's gonna leave it on a
people will just
cliffhanger.
use drugs, won't they? If it's something like this and it has a deeper meaning, if it's just drugs, they're going to go home and do them.
Whereas, like, yeah, exactly.
If
But
we
like
use a
with the
piece of,
mysterious
like,
device,
technology-
people are gonna think, well, what's that? What's that for? So it leaves it on a cliffhanger. And we also used Enigma because the mysterious device was
Mysterious device, mysterious
an
man.
enigma.
Once the
Because
eyeline
you know it's a puzzle that no one knows about.
once the eyeline shot was finished, we then got into seeing me look around, and then it faded into Sam continuing to play with the lighter, which then instantly received the message in which one of our blunders were that Sam accidentally unlocked the
prop
phone.
that we used, the phone.
Yeah, one of the props, the phone. He unlocked it in the wrong direction, in the
Yeah.
opposite way.
I was holding it upside down, but that's not important.
And
But yeah, flipping between the two shows the connection between the characters and the events going on.
and refilm that.
it did, but it's fixed now, so everything's good.
Have well.
But it's we called it conspiracy.
Which was Carly, though.
No,
Why did we call it that, Carly?
I don't know.
Was it 12 o'clock at the time?
Well, since the Enigma is a huge part of our thriller opening, our whole idea was just like to get the audience questioning and to want to find out what's going on next. Hence, they would watch on if it was a real thing. And what is more of an enigma than a conspiracy?
In an actual filming like procedure, you would name it at the very end after you've. Well, I don't know.
Well,
But
we
you
didn't
take
name it
entire
until the
film
end.
into account, not just the opening. So the whole point is that more happens in the film that would lead towards the name.
Yeah, but you know the whole device thing is a conspiracy because we don't know what it's for, or what it is if it leads to anything. No, I don't know.
That's not really a conspiracy.
But yeah, I mean it's sort of like this and this and this leads to a conspiracy, and that's what our opening is. Yeah.
So say later on in the film, Michael disappears, and then Sam
nobody
seems
knows.
pretty chill about it.
That's why it's a
But
conspiracy.
in reality, Sam was never talking to Michael in that scene. He was talking to somebody else about something else. And it could turn out that maybe he was asking somebody if they got a weapon of mass destruction, and this tiny little scene we saw doesn't relate at all.
Yeah, or maybe
To
not.
be a MacGuffin. To be, in a way, a incentive.
Well, we don't know, obviously. 'Cause
Maybe Michael
it's
turns out to
just-
be like a super spy.
It's left on a cliffhanger.
You never know.
That cartridge had, in a way, portrayed to be, in a way, sort of like a MacGuffin.
Maybe Michael was
may-
just buying bootleg games for his 3DS.
Sadly, we didn't change gender roles. It was all sort of stereotypical gender roles.
Yeah, it was all
with men in
stereotypically
power.
male. I mean, we could have had female actors. It's just Carly has a fear of being on camera.
Well, we did have another female actress with us, but
I
she
just
just
thought
isn't going. Oh,
that I would be better at filming, and I was. So
we could have got more production
Anybody
members
can
in, but
film.
you know.
no, they can't.
Anybody can
No,
hold
they
a
can't.
camera. You're doing
It
it,
was-
right
yeah,
now.
but
I
I
could
ca-
easily do that.
But I came up with all the ideas.
And those amazing.
No, I mean all the
Hand shots.
angles. I came up with the angles. Maybe not the ideas.
I must
but the
admit,
angles.
you had a good idea with the dealing scene. That was a very creative, taking it from a low shot,
Thank
looking
you very
up.
much. I did
Instead
like,
of
I did like
getting
that
into a high shot, making it very obvious, it was more
I prefer from
hidden.
It was like an up close kind of, nobody watching.
Like I wouldn't mind being on film, but like I'm picky about it. But anyway, that's not important.
Me and Michael have no self-dignity, so that's fine.
Yeah, definitely. And I just looked like a drug dealer.
Must excel in our strengths, and Carly's strengths are camera work.
Make a comment.
What type of
Talk
comment?
about your role in the film.
Yeah.
I role in the film. Well, I am the overseer, and the first character of which we see in the production, where we get a feeling for the setting, as it pans over and we see the character and wonder what his significance is as he attempts to light a lighter, which is could be considered a symbol of danger, since fire. And then we switch to this other man who may or may not have a connection with the first man?
That's the conspiracy.
That-
We don't know.
We don't know. Then we see this other dude who we know nothing about. Marvel conspiracy. Michael,
talk
what
about
happened
your
when we
role.
found your dude?
Michael, talk about your role.
My role was more of the shady.
Yeah, I know, but we could just cut things.
So basically, my role in the thriller opening was someone acting very shady, very unknown, as a sense of an enigma. Going into the dealer, requesting the item, not fully requested as in asking, it's just get
Like
the
an arranged setup.
arranged setup, and once we're present, the deal happened, things went out on the way.
I mean, we could change that later on, so like maybe that it wasn't supposed to be Michael getting the thing. Maybe like there is a connection between Michael and Sam, but the connection is that Michael's gone to like the wrong deal. Sam's talking to some other guy asking if they've got something, and then there's like a confusion between the two items.
But we don't know conspiracy.
But overall, I think because I think we've pretty much covered everything.
I'm going to talk about
No,
the most important person, because not only do I have
Charles
a role in it, I did the editing.
Muffin.
Okay, we're
I
done
think
now.
I think
Just
I think no.
cut.
I think overall we've learnt a
Director
lot.
says cut. Thank you.
Ben Affleck.
I think overall we've learnt a lot from doing this, and I think the preliminary definitely worked.
Any second now, she's going to insult Michael.
We
Bay,
improved the
and she
mise en
won't be in the
scene.
next Transformers film.
We improved the mise en scene greatly in the thriller opening as well.
Everything is.
Since we didn't really consider mise en scene in our preliminary.
No, but I
Me and Michael were
think
just
we
in our sixth film attire.
but we definitely did in the
But,
thriller.
yeah, in the
so
thriller,
we've improved a lot,
we have.
right? So